Non-virgins of Reddit, how did you lose your virginity for the first time, and what's something you wish you knew beforehand? Well, I was 16 and really drunk one night on the beach in Australia and all our friends had left, and so me and a girl just kinda started doing stuff, then had sex, and it wasn't as good / bad as I thought it would be, but definitely an odd experience as I was pissed out of my head at the time. Edit, no condom either. Just sand. We had an apple flavored condom. And it was green. When he put it on he exclaimed, "I look like I have Shrek's darn." That's all. Edit, holy moly. Gold, thank you. I never realized my sex life could be so entertaining. Not for my first time, but I did try a glow in the dark condom, and it was great fun. But not good for actual sex. My then girlfriend was reduced to fits of laughter by a luminous willy bouncing around the room in pitch darkness. My first attempt at losing my virginity. I had my first try with a girl I really didn't like and wasn't attracted to, but I was so nervous I couldn't get it up. It was a totally embarrassing failure. A few weeks later I told my longtime female friend, literally the girl next door, the story about it. She was really interested in all of the details. A few days later she said she had been thinking about it and she wanted to try sex. She asked me to try it with her. Success. We are still great friends decades later. I actually had a close female friend ask me if we could do that, but I was too terrified to go through with it. I'm still friends with her to this day, so that's probably for the best. Edit, for clarity. She introduced the idea, but said she'd have to think about it. I didn't push the idea / adequately reciprocate interest because I was super nervous. Close friend said, "I'm going to duck you." And she did. I wish I had known to hydrate before. I wish I knew how little it mattered in the grand scheme of things. Being an anxious, high-strung teenager, I really blew it out of proportion. Of all of the experiences in my life, that one was a tiny blip. Sex for the first time was similar to getting my first dental cleaning. Important for later health and well-being? Yes. Super memorable and beautiful? No. I wish I would've known that I wasn't immune to queefing just because it was my first time /view 200D. It was actually a really healthy experience, but one. Remember to get the supermarket people to take the condoms out of the security box before leaving. I spent a good amount of time using pliers to break it open too. Extra strong condoms stop feeling completely. How can you lose your virginity a second time, mate? Alzheimer's. 18-year with my then GF of the same age. I'm not sure what I should count as the first time, because we tried a first time and I could never get in. I don't remember how we ended this time. But a few days later we tried again and it worked. Apart from that, we were responsible and waited to have condoms before trying. I think having had decent sex ed, being both understanding of the other and sure we wanted to do it helped a lot for it to be a good experience. My sex ed teacher literally said, "I'm not allowed by the state legislature to tell you about condominiums. I'm supposed to tell you abstinence is the only 100% safe way. But if you do decide to do it, having a condominium will get you 95% of the way towards safety. But I didn't tell you that. Welcome to Utah." 16 years old. It was awkward and uncomfortable. In reality, neither of us enjoyed it. I wish I knew how uncomfortable the first time would actually be. FF8 years and we're married, so it's not all bad. I think usually the first time would be awkward and uncomfortable because of how much people, especially teenagers, build sex up to be way more than it is. Going in with high expectations is a surefire way to be disappointed and somewhat confused about the whole experience as a first time. I lost it on the bathroom floor to my first girlfriend. Was a pretty weird and funny experience. With my first girlfriend when I was 17. And what I wish I knew beforehand is that vaginismus is a thing. Involuntary muscle spasms that prevent vaginal penetration. We're all told that it's going to hurt the first time. And we are all told that foreplay helps. What we are not told though is that if foreplay doesn't help and you spend over a year trying to make it work out anyway, that there might just be a medical issue at play. If you've already had plenty of foreplay and it still hurts her to put just 2 fingers in, then there is something wrong. And we all want to believe that this can be solved by more practice or more foreplay or just relaxing, but the fact of the matter is that that's not always true. And denying that it might be a medical issue is going to make her feel weird about her body and even develop an aversion to sex. Also on the topic, when people say don't forget foreplay, what they are leaving out is that it might be a good idea to do the foreplay until she orgasms. Not only will this help even more than just foreplay, except for in cases of vaginismus as I mentioned above, it is also very likely that she will not orgasm from penetration. Life is not a movie. Very few women can actually orgasm from penetration. I've never read studies, but close friends who had a lot of asexual partners tell me that it's about 10-20%. 17. Honestly, I wish I knew to move my hips better. My humping was so stiff and awkward, but it was my first time, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Now every now and then, I'll get complimented on my stroke game. It's even better when there's music playing in the background and I can match my humps to the rhythm of the song. It's like playing DDR and having sex at the same time, and the girls enjoy to like it also. In a car. We were 17 and 18 at the time, so we still both lived at home, with parents and siblings around at all times. Car sex was the only convenient option. It was a while before I actually got to have sex in a bed. My advice is to not lose it in a car. It can be extremely awkward, uncomfortable, and you're limited in what you can do. This is especially true if you're on the taller side. I should also mention that she was a virgin as well. So it was a bloody car experience the first time, which made it end much quicker than I wanted. While car sex is better than no sex, I highly recommend you wait the first time until you have access or a bed, or even a couch. Depends on the car. Lost mine in the back of a Ford Explorer where all the seats folded down flat. Probably as much room as a queen bed. First time wasn't great, and very short haha. But there were plenty of more chances in that car that summer. I remember being 16 and a virgin, and having the act of sex all built up as this amazing thing that would change my life. That I could define my life as 2 periods, the period of virginity and non-virginity, and it's just not. I'm a guy, so for a woman it may be more involved. So take that with grain of salt. Honestly, sex has only gotten better as I've gotten older. The sex of my teens and 20s would be mid at best compared to the intimacy and intensity of what I have now with E1 I love. I'm 58 and the sex now is so much better now than when I was younger. It takes time and practice to learn how to avoid all the pitfalls and mistakes made by inexperience. You need practice to refine your technique. You need to learn how to read your partner's mind through nonverbal cues. Which positions are best for which body style, how to connect with your partner emotionally before you connect sexually, and so on. Experience adds a lot to good quality sex. I've still got my virginity, but I lost my keys one time. It was with my ex-fiancé of 5 years. 3 months after we left school in college, he asked me to be his girlfriend. About 4 to 6 months in the relationship, we wanted to have sex and make sure we were ready. We were both virgins, so we had no idea how to put a condom on. It was awkward for half an hour. Know how to put a condom on properly beforehand. I went to my boyfriend's house for the first time and we were cuddling on his bed. He says he wasn't really planning on doing anything, but when I started to kiss him, he couldn't help it, which was my plan. Wish I knew about UTIs. It was actually pretty good and enjoyable for both of us. We were both 16-year virgins. I was a pretty clued in teenager given this was the early stages of the internet. But she was the real reason it was enjoyable. I guess it was kind of Hollywood. We both went to her room while her parents were out. Made sure both of us were as comfortable as we could be. I gave her a naked massage and then I explored her body and listened to her reactions. I learned she had been doing Kegel exercises for a few years by then, and she learned that all the guitar I played had other benefits. We also discovered that she was allergic to latex afterwards, though. Ends up it was hereditary. Her mum was also pretty cool about it. So overall 10/10ths were due again. So in the bucket of things that I wish I knew beforehand, the latex allergy. Don't do it drunk. It'll be even more awkward and uncomfortable, and sometimes the little soldier won't even stand to attention. I was 16, 36 now, and it was with a guy I had been dating for 6 months. We cared about each other. We were both awkward, but went into it knowing what was happening. I had bought condoms beforehand. We could have done more foreplay, but other than that, the experience was fine. There was a little bit of discomfort, but nothing serious. Everything after that got more and more fun as we explored our curiosities. I have always been pretty open and curious about Essex, so I was fairly well prepared. Sunday night Essex show FTW. Was 13, I know, young, with my 14-year-old friend, F. There's nervousness involved, and it's nothing like you would imagine, especially with a condom. Neither of us finished because eventually the condom just turned me off and I couldn't get hard again. Like this video and this good boy will be your mailman forever. We are Redditation, and we redditate every day. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a wonderful day you magnificent people.